Rayman. I modified my intro for. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Once again, it is the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, huge shout out to the folks over at Mattel for sending this figure to me so I can review it for you. We are going to be taking a look at their new figure of the cartoon collection version of Ram Man, celebrating the 40th anniversary of She-Ra. Ram Man really wasn't in She-Ra. He was mostly part of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but they seem to be kind of spreading things out. And 2025 is just a celebration of She-Ra, so I would imagine that we're probably going to get more She-Ra figures and characters throughout the year than He-Man ones, but that doesn't bother me because I've always really liked She-Ra as well. But Ram Man has always been one of my favorites. I got a lot of favorites, but he was just kind of a big oaf, and I loved him. He ran around, he threw his head at things. I don't know why he was funny to me, but I just always loved him. So here we go. And for the packaging, very much like the other ones that we took a look at, where it's got Hordak there over some fire, because you got Castle Grayskull kind of looking like he's blowing it up and stuff. But there you got Ram Man with the cartoon collection on there. You got a little dimple right on the inside there. And, of course, the little reflective logo here for She-Ra in the 40th anniversary. Come around in the back of the package. You can see other things going on. Who is that in there? Who is that? I'm trying to see who this little kid is. But, I mean, all of these always have some kind of homage and hint towards something else that's coming out. And you can see, as seen on the House of what? Shakati? I don't even know what that is. Sorry, I don't. But of course, you got the other figures that are in this wave with She-Ra and Mantenna. Of course, you got the action feature. You got the Shakati. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. So I apologize. I'm a terrible reviewer. But for the package, I mean, I just like Ram Man. He's super fun, super cool. I can't wait to also get some of these other ones, because I really feel like I'm leaning towards going full in with these guys. So there you go. For the packaging, that is about it. Absolutely gorgeous, amazing art as always with these. But for the packaging, that is about it. So without further ado, let us get Ram Man out here and see how cool he actually is. This is one of the ones that I'm definitely kind of on the fence about. Again, much like all these cartoon collection figures, you do get the comic book with it. It is the same one that we got with this whole wave so far with the Horde invasion. I'm trying to... Is Ram Man actually in this? I don't think Ram Man is featured in this anywhere. So, like I said, this is... Well, there's He-Man, there's the Sorceress. I don't see... Yeah, I don't see Ram Man. I mean, I could be crazy, but I don't see Ram Man. But the majority of this wave, obviously, is the Princess of Power, the She-Ra figures, and homaging that. So Ram Man is kind of, the outlier with that for the most part. But why I'm on the fence about it is because I love the vintage and origin figure so much that I really miss something very specific to those figures. Now, Ram Man himself, like I said, is very fun, very kind of quirky and goofy. I mean, the dude literally runs headfirst into things. I mean, he can't be all that bright. But the figure, again, it does an amazing job of recreating how he looks in the cartoon. So, that being said, the action feature, just setting this off to the side and doing the comparison, the action feature has been removed. So you got the... I'm going to try doing it. So is it... That has been taken out. And it makes sense because, again, this is meant to homage the vintage toy, which had that, launching thing. This guy is not meant to do that. He's meant to look like the cartoon, and he does. Absolutely, he does. Amazingly. So all of these figures really do have that same kind of look. And you can see the comparison here. Let's get this out of the way. Now, one thing I will say is, again, sorry, the lack of accessories does kind of bum me. I guess, they had to retool this considerably. Well, I don't even know if retooling is the word, or just, I'm looking at the fists to see if the fists, maybe the fists are the same. Those might be the same. Maybe, no, even the boots are different. Like, so much on this guy. The arms are completely different. You can see the head, and like all of this. This is just basically a completely new figure. You do get the idol of Shokan. Is that what it's called? Sorry, coughing again. Shokan, I guess. Again, I'm not entirely sure what this is, and I apologize. I know some of you that are big Masters of the Universe fans are gonna like really come down on me for it. I mean, I know that a lot of these do include kind of like items from various episodes. Like, I know that the Skeletor comes with these like different mask sort of things, and it, as seen in the Masks of Power. So it homages a specific episode, and this one, I think, what was it? It's as seen in the House of Shokan, or Shokanti? Shokati. I'm sorry. I'm killing it. I know I am. So I'm going to have to go back and watch this just because I haven't seen, honestly, the Masters of the Universe show in quite a while. It doesn't really stand. I mean, it kind of does if you kind of bend it. Like, I think out of the package, it came with these little bits here in the back, but I think they're more meant to be off on the side, and you can kind of see where it's like that, so you can kind of warp it a little bit to get it to kind of sort of stand there. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. I mean, you can balance it. But I think my love of the vintage toy is really here with this particular figure. So again, this is one of those kind of situations where I really am torn between having a toy display and a cartoon display, and I might just end up having to create a whole new shelf to be able to do it. But this figure is really extremely well done. I mean, all the way around, it looks like the cartoon. This comes off. I am kind of curious. What? Oh, that's definitely not good. Like, the glue on there is coming off. So you can, don't do that. That's weird. That does stay on there pretty decently, but you can remove that if you wanted to. Just, because, I guess. But you can still see that it does have that very, very Ram Man style look. Big, beefy. You can see his arms are really big. Let me do a comparison with kind of a regular, another figure. I don't have any of the other ones here, but here's Prince Adam. I feel like the size, like these ones were a little bit smaller, I feel like, as well. And I don't have any of those cartoon ones here because I recently just put them in my back in my display. But you can see the overall size. But amazing detail all the way around. You have the more not metallic but armory looking sort of thing on here. Of course, you got the armor on here, which is a very nice reflective glossy silver plastic, which does look really very good. Where you can see, like, this one was a little bit, it's a little bit shiny too, but you can definitely see that this has a lot darker of an element. This is a lot lighter of an element. But he's got the green legs down here, which is very much in keeping with how he looked, the big giant boots. I mean, he is kind of like a Gimli, sort of. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, he's definitely like like a dwarf kind of character, a Gimli kind of character. I mean, and I've always loved him. He's just super, super fun. Articulation on the guy, you do have a ball joint, so you can get a full range of motion with that, whereas this one was definitely a lot more limited, and it always bothered me that it was a little bit off-centered on here. So that one is definitely more limited. This one, you do get a full range of motion with this head, which is really quite nice, and you can see that he's got like a little bit longer of a neck sort of situation there, which works perfectly with them. The shoulders do move in and out. They rotate all the way around. This does kind of get in the way as you're doing it, so just bear that in mind that you will have a limited range of motion with it. You do have a rotation at the elbow and a bend at the elbow. Both the wrists do hinge forward and back and also rotate, and then when you come to the waist, get this lifted up. When you come to the waist, you can rotate that as well. You can also, oh, well, I just pulled his whole head off. You can do the same separation sort of thing with this guy. As you can see, you can still pop his head off, but this is where you can kind of see like the little longer of a neck sort of thing. You can see how big that opening is there to really facilitate that. Really, I mean, he gets a little, yeah, we gonna go side to side like that. Put that back on there. So the rotation is there. The hips here, now this is different from that Origin one, whereas because you had the action feature in there, these legs really couldn't get a lot of range of motion at the hip section, like because it was locked into place. There was really nothing that you can do up there. You had the bend at the knee, but you couldn't do anything at the waist or the hip or anything. So you can move these around, which is really nice. Move them forward and back. You have the softer material here, so you do get a little play in there. You do have the bend. Where is that bend? There we go. Oh, that's a stiff joint, so I'm gonna have to be careful with that. Yeah. Whoo, that's making me nervous. That is a stiff joint right there. So just try to work that in a little bit more, but you have a bend right there. Just be careful when you're doing it. He also rotates at the boot. The ankles move forward and back, and they also have a nice rocker pose. And yeah, I do not like how stiff that joint is right there. That's gonna make me nervous. Again, he doesn't really come with any extra accessories, which kind of sucks, just because I talked about it a little bit. You know, you do have a pretty much newly molded figure here, so I mean, I can understand that. I guess if you really wanted to, you definitely could take these if you wanted to. I mean, he's gonna be able to hold them because he's got like this little fist. I mean, you could definitely do that, which that looks pretty good, honestly. So while a lot of these vintage style figures, the Origin ones, I don't know. I mean, I'm literally sitting here talking about it, and I know that I don't have a lot of space, so I gotta figure out something. But you could definitely do that with it if you wanted to carry over the weapons between the two. I mean, Ram Man didn't have a ton of like weapons, you know, in terms of the show, just in general, just because his head was the weapon and he would ram things. So, I mean, you definitely could do that. But really very fun. This figure turned out fantastic. I'm really quite happy with them in terms of the recreation to that cartoon look. It's spot on. It really is. I'm just trying to get that centered a little bit. I need to try to make my thumbnails look a little bit better. You know, like I said, you know, my kind of disappointment is the fact that it doesn't have the action feature, but I understand why they would have gotten rid of that. But that being said, it still makes it so, like, this figure is actually still fun to have. That's one thing that I do really appreciate. You know, a lot of these ones, you're like, oh, they're getting you to double buy a figure. They're two different things, realistically, you know, and I'm like, I think that this one is fantastic for what it is. You know, She-Ra is the same. Mantenna is the same. I mean, they're all fantastic for what they are, and these ones are different, and they're meant to replicate something that's different. So in terms of like, oh, you're double dipping, I don't feel like you are. I really don't, because if you want to go vintage toy look, Origins are there. If you want to go to the cartoon, they're there. I mean, they're different enough that it works, and you could have two displays if you have the space. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Masters of the Universe classic or cartoon collection, Ram Man. Him as well as his wave mates have been starting to hit retail locations and online, the online stores and things of that nature. So if you are looking for this guy, good luck and happy hunting. As always, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Let me know that you did enjoy the video. And as always, until next time, guys, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.